A very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you very much, sir. All the dignitaries present over here. I'm very honored to be sitting here and to be called at this occasion of celebrating women. And at first, I was very nervous what am I supposed to say because I met all the people here. Most of you might be much more qualified to speak on this topic, or if I have to put it, you might have much better or meaningful insights to speak about, particularly International Women's Day. But if I'm given this platform, I would definitely give my best attempt to put justice for this incredible opportunity. So, firstly, I think, as I just first speaking, I think you already know the significance of why we celebrate International Women's Day. It all goes back to the feminist times when the revolution and everything started, where women did not have the right to vote, the right to speech, not being able to choose what happens to their own body, not having any part to say in the representation of the country, be it in politics, in power, entertainment, whatsoever. I don't think I have to go that close into it. But there's a few things that as a person, me personally, I feel like I go through these things considering the representation of women and why it's needed. Firstly, I think, especially since this is the age of social media, you'll see this a lot around Instagram or Facebook as men or even women or just society tagging women, and when they are framing women as feminists, people tend to like nag about it, like, oh, you are the feminist type. Can I ask like a free question to all the people in this room? How many people in this room are feminists? Would you please raise your hand? How many people in this room are feminists? Can you please raise your hand? You don't have to raise it like this, you can raise it this much so that just I can see. Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to see how many hands would be there. You know, the evolution or the transformation of the actual meaning of feminism over the years and the way it persists now in a very vast majority of generation of today, the youth icon as we call ourselves. It kind of reminds me of one silly analogy that I'll put to one of the anecdotes of my life. Is anyone Apadani here? Okay. Hello, ma'am. So there was this one time when I was in class 12 and I was studying in NPS Guwahati. And I was going to my hostel. So one day before going to hostel, I was going to Big Bazaar to buy all the things that I need. And I happened to meet my Mizo friend, my friend from Mizoram, who did not speak Hindi at all. And I happened to meet her, and she was with her mom. And I was like, oh, hi, auntie. And then auntie was like, oh, hello, beta, and all that. And then she waved at my mom. And my mom, she does not speak that much of English. So my mom was, as usual, any Arunachal mother would do. She was just like, And I was like, okay, fine. So there was a time when I was talking to my friend. And my mother was trying to have a conversation with my friend's mom. Something like, I think she was looking at the scarf, okay, my friend's mom. And my mom was like, soft like that, something like that. But then she didn't hear that. And my mom, I saw her like from my side view that like she just pulled back her hand and she was just like that. And I was feeling really bad for her. So on the way back to our home, I told my mom, I was like, in Apadani, I speak to her in Apadani, so I was like, oh Jaiga, it's okay. I think she did not hear you. That's why she didn't reply. And my mom was like, oh no, it's okay. Anyways, because even if she had replied, she would have replied in Lase. And I was like, what Lase? Lase kya? And then she goes like, Lase meaning English. And I was like, oh, in Apadani, Lase ko, English ko Lase bolte hai. And then she goes like, नहीं उस जमाना में तो हम लोग का बुरी लोग तो इंग्लिश नहीं बोल सके इंग्लास से बोलता था तो वो इंग्लास से लासे हो गया अभी इंग्लिश को लासे बोलते हैं पता नहीं So you see the transformation of the term English through barriers of language and how it has transformed. Just like that, the true meaning of feminism, it only and only meant equality. It never meant being better than men. It never meant to use women card as a weapon to be able to get away with things. I'm like, yeah, so it's okay for me. No, that has never been feminism, but that is how it is termed these days, how it's termed in layman's, how it's used in layman's terms in today's, especially social media generation. So, you can excuse that. And yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is that, firstly, I think now that we are living in the 21st century, it's very important for us to know that feminism stands for nothing else but only and only equality. And anything that the generation, the current social media generation might term as, so that he's playing women card, she's playing the victim card, whatsoever, that is pseudo-feminism. It looks like feminism, but it is not. It's just using rhetoric examples, just so, just so women could be put above men. That is pseudo-feminism. So I hope the first thing that I really wanted to make sure I did not know I was gonna be here with all the women. I thought it was gonna be like guys and girls posts. I was expecting most of the men to, when I say feminism, they would make faces like, yeah, they would do that. So I wanted to put this explanation so that I can, put it in front of them. So now that I've put it in front of you, I hope in the next time, if there is some person who is trying to, try to say that feminists are women who just nag about what they want, you can put it on their face that this is because we just wanted equality. And if someone asks, why is it not called equality, or why not just call it manism, why feminism? The reason is because back in the days in the 18th century, it was women who were oppressed for such a long while, right? And we needed the opportunity to just be equal, to have equal pay parity, to have equal representation as men. This is the reason why it was called feminism in the first place. So I hope that part is settled for now. Now, moving to, now I think since Sir has already said the importance of, as I've said that, I heard him saying that we've already spoken about the history and why we celebrate International Women's Day. So, speaking about time, I think today the world that we live in right now, I feel very privileged. And I'm pretty sure when I say this, I'll be speaking on behalf of majority of the people sitting over here. I think we are very privileged. The hardships that we struggle with are dreams of other families. Okay, you all are students, I'm also a student, I took a gap year, another name, but I'll be a student this year again. So let's say the biggest hardship around the corner at this time of the month or this time of the year, let's say it's exams. We think that, oh, we have to pass an exam to be able to get a job. That is like the hardest struggle for now. But there are women out there who do not even have the options to have this struggle. It's something as simple as, let's say, you are very tired of, you're very tired that your fan in your house is, it has started rusting and you have to keep rotating it with your hand to be able to start it. That's the struggle that you're suffering, right? But there might be people out there who might not even have the abundance of a shelter to even have a fan on top of it. So that's the kind of analogy that I'm trying to put here. We think that, oh, I was not able to choose my choice of university. I was not able to have the choice of, let's say, to some reason or the other, because sometimes it happens that you get parental pressure to be able to choose whatsoever career in life. Sometimes we feel that, oh my God, I did not have the freedom enough to be able to choose whatever passion I want to pursue. But then there are literally children under the age of 9 to 10, somewhere out there, maybe not around us, but somewhere out there, who do not have the choice to even say no to child marriage. They're getting married off. There are people, sometimes you might feel like, let's say you had a fight with your teacher and your teacher's like, you know what, Miss Lunia, today you have really disappointed me, and in anger or frustration, your teacher goes to you like, I never expected this from you, you are a very big disappointment to me. And you feel very hurt that, oh my God, my teacher called me a big disappointment. But imagine there is someone out there, there is a small baby who has just been born, and its birth, the family getting to know that it's a girl is the disappointment for the whole family. Imagine your existence from mere just being a baby who's just like 2 or 3 minutes old and already being a disappointment. So I think when we are here and we have the freedom, although you might sometimes, I also sometimes feel very obligated. Sometimes I feel like, why am I being made to do this? Like, I want to have my freedom. But whatsoever reason might be, sometimes I think it's very important for us to acknowledge the freedom that we have and use this as an opportunity so that others who are oppressed out there, we can stand for them, we can do something for them. And there has been a lot in the history. We are only here when this is Lekhi, Danagar, let's say, we are only here. Let's zoom out a little bit more. In Arunachal, you might see a lot of inspirational women around you. It could be your mother. I think everyone really looks up to their mothers. I look up to my mother, but there's many women out here who I feel like have really impacted the life or perception of women in society as a whole. There is, have you heard, I'm pretty sure you've heard of Nara Abba, the winery, the Kiwi winery, it's from Zero. She also, I think, my mom is also Tage, she's also Tage. So I remember during Femina time, the way she had guided me and the insights she had. She is not a beauty pageant, she's not a formal beauty pageant, or she's not a mentor for beauty pageants. But I remember how she stood for me, the way she would always call me, she would always make me know that what are the ways where I can perform my best, the way I can look or represent myself as a very strong, independent woman from Arunachal, so that the people in national platform can see and can tell that women from Arunachal come out very strong. She had such beautiful insights. I don't know if I lived up to it, but I definitely can say that she had such beautiful insights, and I know that because she has also gone through things in her life, which is why she is so successful today. Now her brands are going international. Now, not just that, we have what the very, I think when women go out there in national platforms, that is where people from the home state catch more recognition. Let's say, Sundaram, for instance. Like, people have always been proud of her, but the moment when she was there, out there in Big Boss, and suddenly, didn't you feel like there was this whole lot of crowd which got united because they all are looking at one representation in the national platform and they somewhere feel united, and we feel so happy that it's a girl, it's a woman who is shining brightly, and the way she has represented our state and to be able to reach that level. And I'm not only talking about in entertainment or in pageantry particularly. There is a lot of examples that I can take. For example, we have Mamang Dai, I think everyone has heard of him, or heard of her, the voice of Arunachal heritage and culture. And even she was recognized for her literary contributions and was honored with Padma Shri in 2011. We have, if you zoom out a little bit more, we also have Indian women who have really reformed the society. Indira Gandhi, she was the first and only female Prime Minister of India. And the way she has created a path for women to be able to see that this is something that we can also do. ये हम भी कर सकते हैं. Being able to put that feeling in women, that too from back in the days, from that generation, I think it already stands out a lot. Then we have Malala Yousafzai, we have Rosa Parks, and I don't know if anyone, this was a story that I read during my college. Rosa Parks, she's known as the mother of the civil rights movement. So her courageous act of refusing to give up her bus seat helped ignite the civil rights movement in the United States and inspired women to stand up for their rights. Imagine from something as small as just saying no, that I am not going to give up my seat in my bus, it ignited a whole new revolution. She was people from different parts of the world, even though media was not reachable to each and every woman in the world, but through whatsoever means they could, it ignited a fire in them. They never met that particular woman who refused to give her seat, but just because they heard, they saw, they found the inspiration, they did the same in their own designated places. Altogether, it came out as a big revolution, and that is how feminism took birth. And similar is the case for the event of International Women's Day. So on this occasion, the point that I really want to make is that we do not celebrate International Women's Day only and only for celebrating the success or where women have come from the history. We also celebrate this Women's Day so that we can be more cautious about what is happening around. We can be more aware about what's happening and be the pedestal. Be the pedestal so that someone else can look at us, be inspired, and stand in front. If you have, and now some people might say that in Arunachal, what are you seeing? But to be very honest, there is still a bit of obligations when it comes to property rights. There is still polygamy happening. There is still domestic abuse, which is happening so much to the point that even the neighbors tend to nazarandaz it. They hear a fight happening, they hear some shouting, crying, and then they'll just let it be. Because that is what we have been accustomed to. Now, see, someone might say back in the days when women used to be like, अभी infanticide नहीं होते, मतलब बच्चा को जन्म होते नहीं मान रहे यहाँ पे, तो उसकी क्या problem है? Why do you need to have feminism or to celebrate women? Or there could be another things like हम लोग में तो dowry नहीं होते, if हम लोग में child marriage नहीं होते, everything is abolished now. But you know what is the one thing that sticks to this society as a leech, and it seems very less harmful, but it is causing the most disturbance. It's negative gender stereotypes. When someone says he runs like a girl, or what to say, boys don't cry, or let's say that women look better when they are quieter. Women look good as caretakers. Women seem more appealing in society when they are quiet, calm, and composed. These are things which might sound like very normal statements, but if you really dig into it, they are actually internalized misogyny that has been passing on over generation, over trying to patronize women in a way to make them fit in standards that will not make them stand out. When a woman is quiet, that is, now I'm talking about everyone here. But back in the days, that is how women were considered more ideal, more appealing, more wanted, more beautiful. When they were quiet and when they were calm. So when you look at the history of it, it actually all comes from what has been going on back in the days and how certain stereotypes has been put for men and for women. So I think when we celebrate International Women's Day today, we all stand for each other. We neglect such negative gender stereotypes, and we call the men as well, the men in this room as well. We need the men, our brothers, our fathers, our friends, our colleagues to stand with us because the world is 50% of the population of humans is women. But why is the representation only a few percent? Imagine that this world is a playground. Wouldn't it be unfair if there are two teams and one team is blindfolded? That is the thing. It's not that they cannot do it, it's just that some rights have been restricted. That is where women need to stand out. So, before I conclude, I want to say that thank you so much for having me here, and I would take this opportunity to tell all the women and the men as well that we need to stand together so that we can realize where women have come from history, where they are today, and to celebrate them for where they have reached. And not just stop here, but to keep looking forward to see where they can still go till all the barriers of gender inequality are erased. Be it gender pay parity, be it maternity leaves, be it whatsoever that we might not see and just study in the books. And as I said, feminism not only and only stands for equality. So before I conclude my speech, I would like to ask this question once again: how many people in this room are feminists? Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Happy International Women's Day.